Chapter 3 Endocannabinoid System Deficiency. After the discovery of the endocannabinoid system in the 90s, various propositions have emerged from the scientific and medical community which attempt to provide insight and treatment for medical conditions which have been notoriously difficult to diagnose and treat in the past. One such proposition, endocannabinoid system deficiency, was a milestone proposal given as a result of research conducted by Dr. Ethan Russell at the International Cannabis and Cannabinoid Institute. Endocannabinoid system deficiency is a concept which proposes cannabinoid treatment for neurodegenerative diseases, as well as for conditions such as irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, and fibromyalgia. Dr. Russo provides such as anandamide and 2-AG interact with cannabinoid receptors to aid natural physiological processes such as metabolism and digestion, then perhaps a deficiency in these endocannabinoids or related enzymes could be the reason behind difficult to treat chronic conditions. Irritable bowel syndrome is a dysfunction of the digestive system which results in bloating, diarrhea, and constipation, also with stomach cramps and pain. The cause of IBS is unknown. It is speculated that it is caused by diet or perhaps genetically linked, and tends to be a lifelong problem for those that have it, with treatment usually consisting of diet changes and medication. IBS is often difficult to diagnose due to its symptoms being easily interpreted as a different medical condition, or separate issues such as diet or stress which then causes the individual to have an irritable bowel. There is a high concentration of CB2 receptors in the digestive tract, which has been shown, when targeted with cannabinoids, to provide therapeutic relief for those experiencing IBS by stimulating natural digestive processes and immune defense. From those who suffer from IBS, roughly 6 are likely to suffer from migraines, fibromyalgia, or depression. Migraines are a common brain disorder, which are equal to IBS in difficulty of localizing the cause. The key indicator of a migraine is a moderate to severe headache in one side of the head. This is associated with a variety of symptoms including dizziness, an aura sensation, a bright light before or after a migraine, abdominal pain, blurry vision, and vomiting. In recent years, it has been established that headache disorders are a consequence of an overactivated trigeminal vascular system in the brain which causes chemical changes resulting in a migraine. Cannabinoid intervention has shown promising results as a therapeutic option for migraine pain. Evidence is mounting that the high density of CB1 receptors in the brain, with their analgesic and anti-inflammatory capabilities, allow for a promising target in the future for potential treatments. Fibromyalgia, or fibromyalgia syndrome, is a condition which involves constant pain all over the body for varying periods of time. Symptoms of fibromyalgia include chronic pain, increased sensitivity to pressure, muscle stiffness, trouble sleeping, mental fog, and headaches. The symptoms of fibromyalgia are non-specific, ranging from a slight headache to intense full-body pain, which provides a relative difficulty in administering effective treatment. At present, antidepressants, painkillers, and talking therapy are among the most common forms of treatment. Cannabinoid treatment has been shown extremely beneficial for fibromyalgia sufferers. A study submitted to the Journal of Clinical Rheumatology in 2018 highlighted how participants who have been suffering from fibromyalgia showed improvement in every parameter of the questionnaire in the study as a result of their consumption of medical cannabis. Furthermore, 50% of participants involved in the study stopped taking any other medication which they were previously taking for the condition, instead choosing to use medical cannabis as treatment. The endocannabinoid system has also been viewed as a potential target area for managing neurodegenerative diseases. Neurodegenerative diseases refers to numerous conditions such as Huntington's disease, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and motor neuron disease, all resulting in the malfunctioning and steady decay of neurons in the brain. In the case of Alzheimer's disease, it is thought amyloid plaques, clumps of specific proteins, form clusters in the brain, binding to neurons and destroying synapses in the brain as a result. Synapses are responsible for cell communication and for the purpose of learning and memory. Inflammation also plays a significant role in Alzheimer's-related memory and learning impairment. Research has shown that THC, when administered medicinally, blocks the enzyme acetylcholinesterase, which is responsible for the formation of protein clusters, the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Furthermore, a study published in early 2018 showed how the non-psychoactive component of cannabis, cannabidiol, has a neuroprotective effect by restoring synapses which had been lost due to the degenerative effects of the disease. Studies which imply a strong potential for cannabis to be used as a very effective treatment are numerous in amount. However, clinical trials are needed to provide the gold standard pass for use as medicine. Clinical trials involve research using human participants instead of genetically engineered rodents. However, this often provides a difficulty, due to countries which maintain a critical view and are unlikely to provide funding for cannabis-based research. Parkinson's disease is a more specific degenerative condition which only affects a group of cells in the brain called the nigrostriatal dopamine neurons, which are essential in the process of movement. Parkinson's disease affects the central nervous system. As the disease spreads, it encompasses the whole body's motor coordination skills, resulting in uncontrollable tremors, stiffness of the bones and muscles, and an inability to walk. Non-motor symptoms such as depression, anxiety, restlessness, fatigue, bowel and bladder problems, and memory impairment are also symptoms of the disease. Currently, there is no cure for Parkinson's disease, and according to the NHS advisory organisation NICE, the National Excellence, the aim of treatment is to control the symptoms and attempt to improve the patient's quality of life as best possible. Treatment for Parkinson's disease includes specific types of exercise such as yoga, Pilates, and Tai Chi, also the use of medications. There are several medications used for managing the various symptoms and stages of Parkinson's disease, but levodopa is the most commonly applied. However, common side effects of levodopa include response fluctuation and dyskinesia, the involuntary or abnormal movement of the body. The hope is to find a medication that can not only relieve the symptoms of these diseases, but also slow the progression and, if possible, reverse the effects of neurological damage. Various studies have been conducted to test the efficacy of cannabis as a form of Parkinson's treatment. A 2019 report titled Pros and Cons of Marijuana in Treatment of Parkinson's Disease conducted a meta-analytical review of the current treatment of levodopa in comparison with cannabis. The report concludes by saying levodopa does address motor skill symptoms but only in the early stages of Parkinson's and can come at the expense of permanent involuntary movement damage. Cannabis, on the other hand, addresses numerous symptoms of Parkinson's including depression, pain, rigidity, sleep and tremors. However, long-term cannabis use is needed to maximise the medicinal effects of the cannabis compounds for Parkinson's symptoms. Studying cannabis by removing or synthesising single cannabinoid molecules, such as THC or CBD, and studying their effects does not provide an accurate account of the effectiveness of the entire cannabis plant as a medicine. Cannabis is such a complex system of phytocannabinoids, terpenes and flavonoids which all interact synergistically, that to remove a particular cannabinoid and test its efficacy will provide results which do not reflect the cannabinoid's full potential when used with its counterparts in the whole plant. This phenomenon is known as the entourage effect, and is widely documented as providing the answer as to why cannabinoids, when used in singular form, do not provide the same therapeutic benefits as when cannabis as a whole product is used naturally with all cannabinoids, terpenes and other molecules working in unison with each other. In the case of other degenerative neurological conditions such as disease, motor neuron disease and multiple sclerosis, cannabis has been shown to be a safe treatment for spasticity, dystonia and as a novel anti-inflammatory. The high level of cannabinoid receptors, which exist all throughout the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, give reason as to why cannabis can be used therapeutically for moderating pain and degeneration in various parts of the body. The phytocannabinoids in cannabis can also target specific regions of the body which are in decline without causing the same irreversible damage which occur frequently with the use of synthetic drugs. Epilepsy has already been acknowledged by the UK government as benefiting from cannabis treatment. This is clear with it being mentioned as one of the very few conditions which can receive such treatment in the UK since its legalisation of cannabis for medical use on the 1st of November 2018. The two most likely cases where cannabis will be administered are rare and severe forms of epilepsy and individuals experiencing vomiting and nausea from chemotherapy. The extremely rigid restrictions within the UK regarding medicinal cannabis makes it that, even though it has been now passed through for medicinal use, the chance of gaining a prescription is extremely unlikely. Perhaps the most remarkable potential of cannabis as a medicine is its anti-cancerous properties. THC and CBD provide anti-cancerous properties by inducing a process called apoptosis. Apoptosis is a biologically regulated form of cell death and plays a role in numerous processes in the body such as aging, tumour growth, tissue formation, and diseases. Regarding tumour growth, cancerous cells develop when the body's natural control mechanism becomes deficient, resulting in old cells which have served their purpose but have forgotten to die. These old cells begin to form a collection of abnormal cells which form a mass of tissue, which create a tumour. Cannabis has been shown to prevent the growth of tumour cells and even reduce the tumour size by binding to the cancerous cell and activating its cellular death response, effectively killing the cancerous tumour. It has been theorised that a potentially effective method for treatment is a combination of both cannabis and conventional anti-cancer drugs, which have shown positive results when studied. Endocannabinoid System Deficiency is only in the potentially help treat difficult conditions, but nevertheless shows promise for future understanding of conditions which, until now, have had a relatively slow progress rate in developing effective